welcome back to another episode of the Release Valve, everybody. I am your guy, Sean Hanlon, and I got my guy, Kyle Spain, and we are feeling good with our last episode of the year, man. We're bringing the energy, as you can see, Christmas spirit is with us.
Central Perk 2 with the friends. Where are my friends fans at? Come on.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Feeling good, feeling excited about this end of the year, and excited about the new year, man, and everything that's going to bring with it. It was a good year. It was a good year, man. Gained a lot of experience, knowledge, and understanding, and it's got me excited for being able to apply all of that going forward, right?
Absolutely. It's crazy, and it's no coincidence, especially if you're a believer in God, with it being the end of the year and just feeling like that a chapter of my past is about to be over. Just it coinciding and it all coming to what it seems like an end in a great way. I just feel extremely blessed and extremely excited for what the future is about to come. Like you said, applying everything that most of what we've learned. I'm sure there's a lot that we've learned and haven't been able to apply, but getting to this point now in my life, in our lives, to where we have all the tools, the insights, and the awareness to be applied to the new life coming forward. So I'm excited for this time next year to look very different from what this year looked like.
Right. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And one of the main things that we've talked about the most, I feel like, this year is applying action to our thought processes and the things that we discuss. And I think that's where a lot of the growth is gained, is
Absolutely.
by attaching that action along with it. We can gain all this understanding, but if we're not applying it to what we're doing in our lives, it's almost a waste. You know what I mean? It's like reading a book and then not being able to deliver on that book report. Not being able to talk about it, not being able to tell anything that really happened about it. But I did read it. It's like, nah, you got to do more than that. You got to attach that action to it.
Man, I just got chills, man. Absolutely love what we're doing. Love this stuff. I love being being thought provoked, just the mindset growth, man. It's just absolutely phenomenal. And I have the analogy of, basketball. I teach my son, I teach my students that you learn a new move and you don't try it, you don't take action in it in the game, it doesn't become a part of your bag. It's just something that you just tried to do, or something that you learned during passing, and it's
Right.
something that you have to relearn if you don't take action and apply it, right? So, listening to Jay Shetty episode, that YouTube podcast that I sent you, and just talking about taking minor steps. Our program that we talk about, our B through Y program, that's coming out to people soon. That's coming out soon, people. But not trying to find the motivation to take action, but taking action to get the motivation. And it's so true, because it's just, you just feel better when you take action. You feel better about yourself, and it naturally releases that dopamine, and you're in the mode now. And now he said, he talks about how the initial just starting is the hardest part, but once you get started, it's like the snowball effect. And so just taking that little bit of action, I've always said it before, but have lacked, in my action taking, but realized that, the action, movement creates momentum,
Right.
and the action trumps doubt. There's something you're doubting something, you're doubting you can't do it. If you just do it, man, you're going to feel that much better doing it versus not doing it at all, and then feeling like shit for not doing it in the first place, man. So it's a double-edged sword. It's a double whammy. It's almost like you might as well just take action, because you're not going to feel good about the inaction that's been taken if you don't. So super excited about this next year coming up, bro. Super excited, man.
Yeah, man. Same. Again, motivation is nice. When you have it, it's definitely it definitely helps, but it's not always going to be there. You can't rely on motivation, because that comes and goes, like the wind, man. It's not always going to be there. You're not always going to wake up and feel motivated and feel ready to attack. You're not always going to have things line up in the sense that that you don't even necessarily even need to try, and it just propels you forward anyways. Nah, man, you got to be able to take that action even when you're not motivated. When you're motivated to do something and you do it, it's almost as if, yeah, that's what you were supposed to do. So you don't get that same level of excitement when you do something when you're motivated. But
Yeah.
when you aren't motivated to do something, when you don't feel like doing it, when your subconscious kind of comes up with all the excuses as to why
Yeah.
you shouldn't do it, but then you do it anyways, that's where the real good feeling comes from. That's where that real dopamine hit really hits the system, and that's when you feel like, what else can I do? What else can I
Man,
go out there and accomplish? That's when the real gains are gained, right?
absolutely. I got chills again, after you saying that because thought provoked, I talk a lot about, we talk about principles and principle, how principles can be applied in any arena. And, most of us don't do that in every aspect of our life because, some aspects of our life might be more uncomfortable than others, so I can talk about
Right.
basketball and really talk about reps under resistance. And that's where you make the most growth is, make tiring out your body, lifting weights before you go out onto the court and performing when your body is tired. So that growth, so you accelerate your growth on the court. But that's the same concept when we're talking about mindset and everything else that we're doing. And that's that resistance that you're talking about. When you don't want to do it, you're going against the grain, you're going against that resistance. But when you do, like you said, that dopamine it's just like, man, I did it. I didn't want to do it, but I did it. And you feel good for doing it. And then it really creates that momentum like, okay, well, how much more can I do? And
Right.
that power of one more. It's like, okay, well, maybe I can do a little bit more. Maybe I can do a little bit more. You're proud of yourself. And now I'm looking for, I've been battling this morning wake up, bro. And I've even battled it this morning, that resistance. And I'm like, man, do I want to win or do I want to take a couple more Z's? Right. So I got up, man. And, I started off my day with the win, went for a little bit of a walk, something that I never do, broke the chain in the cycle. And now I'm excited to do it again tomorrow, man, because today is just, man, I don't know. God bless the day. But maybe it was my energy, though, too, right? Maybe my energy was where it needed to be, to where I was attracting the energy that I was exuding into the universe. Because today has been such a blessed day. Everything just seemed like it was just unfolding and coming my way just because I woke up that morning feeling good about the day, man. And so it was definitely a game changer, breaking the chaining, breaking the loop in that cycle, getting up in the morning and getting my mind right, getting my mind prepped for the day, man. And so that's what builds the momentum. That's what builds that motivation, is when you see the results from your work. And not to ramble, but we're impatient creatures, bro. We are impatient creatures, which is why we're developing the B through Y program. But we always look at the end goal, and we're biting off more than we can chew, eat an elephant one bite at a time, right? But we so want the whole elephant that it gets discouraging and we end up quitting. And you know establishing those little tiny goals and attacking those goals, we don't understand that our brains are wired to release those dopamines when we've checked off that goal or that task on our list. When we're checking that task, when we're checking off tasks out of our list, we get that little bit of dope rush, and it's like, yeah, okay, well, this was completed, man. So I'm excited to break everything down into small goals, because everything takes time, bro. We're just impatient with where we're trying to go, and getting discouraged by taking leaps that we're not ready to take yet.
Right. Now, one of my favorite sayings is, "How do you build a wall? One brick at a time."
One brick at a
That
time, baby.
that's the big thing. And you're right. A lot of us will think about that wall and what that looks like, and what we want it to look like, but we don't necessarily go over the process of how to get it to look like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, it's all a matter of slowing things down, breaking things down to easier milestones, as we talked about in the past. Don't focus on the destination, focus on the milestones that will get you there. That B through Y. Being at A, looking at Z, and getting overwhelmed at everything in between. You don't need to look at Z. You don't need to look at L, you don't need to look at H, you don't need to look at F. You're standing at A, you need to recognize Z, but you need to look at B. And then you need to look at C, and so on and so forth. So, man, we got the juices flowing, man. I'm feeling good. I love that you got your morning started that way. I think one of the contributing factors is, not only did you get up early and take some sort of action, but you did something that you don't normally do. The place that you're normally at when you're taking that type of action is in the gym. You were outside. You were under the sky.
Yeah.
Going for that walk, breathing that fresh air, starting your day off that way. I think there's something to that, man. I think there's something to being in nature. I think there's something to being outdoors. So I encourage people to definitely do something like that. Whatever, if you have something that you want to do, if it's some sort of physical activity, see if there's a way that you can do it outside. If you're doing yoga, do it out in the backyard or something, or on your porch or something like that, or at the very least next to an open window. Get some fresh air into those lungs, especially first thing in the morning like that too, man. I think that's such a great way to start the day, to really flush out all those toxins that were building up overnight. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Again, getting that fresh air in your lungs, and then attacking the day from there on. You've already done something. I don't want to say difficult. For some people, it may be difficult. You know what I mean? But you've already taken some sort of action to feel better first thing in the morning, and then attacking the day after that. You're ready for it. When you just go straight into the day and you're not ready, it's like jumping into a basketball game without stretching, right? That's a recipe for getting hurt, recipe for some sort of injury,
that's a great analogy,
or some sort of disaster to happen. It's the same thing with any kind of physical activity. If you don't prepare your body for it first, it's gonna shut down eventually. And that was my biggest thing as a kid, relying on my youth and my athleticism. I did, a nice little all right, ready to go, and just jump out onto the court or whatever. And now that I'm older, man, I have a lot of areas that are very tight, and I'm not as flexible as I used to be, as I should be, and I'm not as loose as I should be, because I went way too long in my life not taking care of that aspect of what I needed to do before a physical activity, before anything really, before just getting going for the day. So now it's definitely a big part, or has become a bigger part of my life, is the prep work for going into whatever it is that I'm going into.
Yeah, man. Being young is a hoax, bro. It's a trick.
It's the biggest trick.
It's a trick, man, because it's like, okay, well, like you said, I can go into this game, maybe not stretch as much, and that was the story of my life, man. And that was the downfall of my career, is not stretching, being too lazy to stretch, and those are the habits that we build, that we're supposed to build when we're younger, and when we don't have those habits, when we establish the habits of not stretching or utilizing, taking advantage of our youth, we carry that over into our adulthood, of trying to execute those same type of habits, and it doesn't work like that. And then it's like, okay, newsflash, I'm a little bit more tight, my back's a little bit more hurt, I'm a little bit more injury prone. Now it's like,
right,
my knees are crazy now, because now I have two bad knees, and so I'm working on repairing or rehabbing those in the best way that I can. I got some meniscus missing, some cartilage missing, some MCL problems and stuff like that. And it's like, man, like if I could go back and do it all over again, man, I would be all over this mobility stuff. I would have started a long time ago, and my life would look so much different now than it would have been had I not done it. Right? Obviously, it's woulda, coulda, shoulda, but
yeah, right. Hindsight. It's always 2020.
Exactly.
I go through the same thing when I got back into kickboxing and karate and stuff like that, man. I can't kick for anything. I'm kicking puppies. You know what I mean? Like, that's as high as I'm getting. I'll kick your ankles off, but. But when I find that when I stretch, because I still go through it, man, I get excited about what I'm about to do. I'm not patient enough to take the time that I need to get my body ready, and then I'll jump into it. And I can't kick for nothing. I can't kick the way that I want to, But then I have those times where I do my stretching, I do my warm ups. I actually just got a bag too. Shout out again. I've given him so many shout outs, but shout out to NCK Bellingham for helping me out get a kicking and punching bag, and I'm strengthening those muscles, and it's getting better. It's getting better,
man.
but I have to do the work. That's the main
Yeah.
thing. I've noticed a difference because of the work that I've been putting in, and it's night and day.
Yeah, bro. I want to piggyback that because I think, even for myself, and I have to catch myself, thinking about, the woulda, coulda, shoulda, and depending on where you're at in your life, it's never too late, right? And so, Kyle's Quest, it's been a long time trying to get that going. I've had that name up on my Instagram for years now, not executing the way that I want to execute it, but now I'm executing it in the fashion that I've envisioned it. But it's about going back to the future. Utilizing what we would have, should have, and could have done, and doing it now. Right. It's not too late. It's not too late, and we've talked about that in one of our episodes prior. Like, don't get caught up in what should have been. It may look a little bit different now, but even for me, like with some bum knees, it's like, man, I wish I could go back so I can hoop. But it's like, nah, like you can do what you need to do, get mobile, be better than you were in your 20s and still hoop at a level that, that you were able to hoop in your 20s, with bad knees.
Right.
I believe it's possible. Nothing's impossible, bro.
Right.
We have to develop a subconscious to where we can believe anything, especially through God. And we've been so programmed with doubt that it's like it's overcome us, it's overtaking our lives, man. And so we got to break free of that and believe what's possible for our futures, man. And just putting in that work. It's like procrastination. It's like interest. You deposit. If you don't do it now, you're going to pay for it later. So regardless of, even for myself, it's like Spain. Like you gotta stretch, bro. Like even while I'm still battling building a relationship with stretching, but I know that if I don't, that this isn't getting any better. If I don't stretch, this is just going to get worse. I'm just going to feel worse. And I see people being a trainer, and seeing the older crowd and the way that they walk, the way that they move, and it's like, I don't want that, man. And so that time is coming, and it's inevitable. So we have to choose now to put in that work, or we're going to pay for it later.
Oh, absolutely. Father Time is undefeated. You know what I mean? He is undefeated. He takes no prisoners. He comes after everybody, and he eventually will win. So yeah, we gotta do what we can to fight back for as long as we can, and feel good while doing it. Yeah, man, that's definitely for me been a game changer. But I wanna jump back a little bit, and we were talking about I got the Christmas spirit flowing through me right now. So I wanna talk about that a little bit, because we got Christmas coming up. Next week?
Yeah,
next
bro.
week when this comes out, it'll be right around Christmas time. So it's coming quick, man. It's one of my favorite times of year. Christmas is a season for me. It's not just a holiday, As soon as Thanksgiving is over, a lot of people, as soon as Halloween is over, they jump right into Christmas mode.
Yeah, Christmas is too short. I dig it. We've started pushing our Christmas tree up until like February 1st now. You know what I mean? So
we leave it up too. We got a fake tree, so we have no problem leaving it up for an extended amount of time. Yeah, man. As soon as Thanksgiving's over, one of our traditions is that very night, we watch A Muppet's Christmas Carol.
Hey.
One of my favorite movies ever since I was a kid, man. That's one of my favorite movies. I think it is hilarious to this day. I still crack up like I'm a little kid. Like, I still notice little things in the background, and I'm laughing from my toes, man. I'm laughing from my 8-year-old self, for whenever that movie came out. Maybe I was 6 or something like that. But that's one of my favorite movies, man, and that really kicks it off for me. We put that movie on, and then from that moment on, it is Christmas mode. We start getting the decorations out. We bring out all the totes. Get the decorations ready, and that next weekend, man, we're putting everything up. We're decorating the tree, and it's Christmas in this house for a month and a half, maybe 2 months.
Yes, righteous, well deserving.
Absolutely, man. It's big with us. We love it, man. If nothing else, even if I didn't have kids, I think I would still love it. I've always loved it. There's never been a time in my life where I'm like, Christmas, I just want to get through this, this Hallmark holiday or whatever. It still means so much to me, man. It's one of my favorite times of year. It just brings just nostalgic joy to my heart.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it's an excuse for me to be happy just because, to feel good just because hey, it's Christmas, man. You know what I mean? Like, calm down. It's all good. Like, no matter what's going on, it's like I know I have this big thing to look forward to, and it's not even just that day. It's the lead up to it. We love everything about it.
Yeah, and that's something to think about. Why is it that people in the majority? Because I'm not going to say that everyone loves Christmas, because everyone has their own traumas and stuff, right? But
absolutely, not everybody celebrates Christmas.
Right, exactly. But let's look at the reason behind that. Again, we get so caught up in our everyday lives, families on the other side of the country. We're in our everyday grind. We're enduring all of the stresses and distractions and all the everydays of life, and we forget about being present, right? And so there's that word present. Right. And so the holidays, Christmas and especially, it forces us to be in that spirit, and that's why we enjoy it so much. Family time. We haven't seen family in the longest time. We're sharing love, right? And love is the foundation. Right. Love is the foundation for all happiness, man. And so without it, we have nothing. And Christmas forces us to be in that spirit, in that moment of sharing and caring. And so that's why Christmas is so good.
But it makes me even think about, like I was saying, as I was saying it, if there's a reason that I can just create in my head that allows me to kind of harness that energy, right? Because I think about Christmas and it's like, yeah, I feel good, and it allows me to kind of filter through all of the negative things with ease. I have no problem with it. But why is it throughout the rest of the year I don't have that same filter? Right. I'm not able to harness that energy. So it tells me that it's a mindset thing.
Absolutely.
Right. It's like I need to be able to. Right. Exactly. We're looking for that Friday energy.
Yeah.
And that Friday feel goods, and something rolls up on a Friday. I'm like, it's all good. It's Friday. I don't have to worry about it tomorrow. So we'll just keep it going. If I'm able to do that because it's Christmas, I'm able to do that because it's a Monday.
Right.
I need to be able to do that because it's March or July or whatever. Like I should be able to do that regardless of what's going on. That should be my default mindset, is to be able to just filter through the bullshit that I don't want or don't need in my life, because it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's the matrix that we all live in. It's conforming to society and the way society has shaped our lives. For a lot of us, not everyone is living that, lives in that same mindset, but it's something to think about. Again, it's something to be aware of.
Some people do, though.
Yeah.
Some people do, and they stick out like a sore thumb. Mm-hmm. Like people just float by with this positive energy, and we're like, damn, like, what, I love that person's mindset. I love their energy that they provide. And I have a couple family members that are like that, man. That shout out to my cousin Rebecca, who's been on the podcast too. Shout out to Rebecca and the Mossy Apothecary. She is such a happy, positive, happy-go-lucky type person.
I love that.
Nothing's that big of a deal. We can figure this out. We can keep it going. We can make the best of this situation. And I should be able to do that.
It's a mindset.
It's not like you're right. It's just a mindset thing, And some of those people, not saying that this about Rebecca, but some of those people, because I know other people like that. They've been through some of the most harsh things that somebody can go through as well.
Yeah,
they've been through some hardships that other people use as excuses as to why they're not in a good mood or being positive. again, they have that built-in filter, and that's definitely one of my goals. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but for this upcoming year, man, that's definitely one of my goals is to just be more positive. When you're more positive, when you're a positive person, you exude positive energy that welcomes positive energy back.
Man.
You know what I mean? As they say, what you put out into the world, you'll get back times 10 or whatever, right? So that's a big focus of mine now. As we're talking about it too, I'm thinking about it. It's like, yeah, absolutely. Everything is all good and it's going to be all good because I said so. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Myron Golden I was watching a Myron Golden video the other day, and he was, talking about, words, and we've talked about this before. Even I've talked about it before. Your thoughts and your
Self-talk.
words. Yeah, your thoughts and your words create your future. It creates your reality. And we're so programmed, that we don't realize it. But, you think of the concept of people believing in the lie so much, or they lie, or if you lie so many times, you'll start to believe that lie. And it's the same thing with everything else and what we say to ourselves, and how our subconscious receives those messages that we're telling ourselves. And so if we can believe a lie, then we can believe the truth. Right. And what I mean by that is our thoughts and our words create our future. Why can't we create our reality? Right. And he talks about, that energy. And he's like, when you're talking to people and you're greeting people, and he's like, I hate it when I talk to somebody. And he's like, I ask them how they're doing. And he's like, well, I'm above dirt. And it's like, nobody wants to be around that type of energy. It's like you said, when you're positive, and you're exuding like, I'm doing great today. It's like, oh, that's amazing, because most people are like, oh, another day. It's another day, going through the motions.
Living the dream.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So I want to talk about mindset as well, because we talk about mindset. And mindset, there's so much, it's a little bit more complex than just thinking, right? It starts with thinking, but it's about the feeling, right? The whole manifestation thing. And it has to come, the mindset has to come from a belief, I was
just thinking that you have to believe it too. That's the main thing. I'm so glad you said that. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
It reminds me, because exactly what you're saying, I just experienced this when I was at the grocery store like a week ago. I'm in the checkout line, and we were at Trader Joe's, and the person that was bringing us out, love Trader Joe's. It's the spot, man. They kill it. They absolutely kill it. Shout out to Trader Joe's. This bagger comes up. They must have the best hiring process.
Oh my
everybody
goodness,
that works
right?
there, they're top notch, man. They're top notch. So the guy comes up to bag and he goes, "Hey, how's it going today?" And I said, I'm doing good, thanks. How are you?" He goes, "I'm doing magical, brother."
Magical, I love that.
And instantly, I was hooked.
Right.
His
I
energy
love that.
came and grabbed me and pulled me in.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we were just talking and flowing. I'm not even paying attention to the guy that's ringing me out or anything. I'm locked in with this dude.
Oh,
You're doing
I'm using
magical.
that.
I want to know why you're doing magical. I'm going to start saying that now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm doing
Just for
magical,
your,
brother.
just oh my goodness, it's taken. I stole it. I adopted it. I adopted it for now. That is one of the most magical responses that you can give. Right. Oh man, way to feed your subconscious with like positivity.
Pulled me in, held me up. I was his trophy at that point, man. He had me with everything. And we were talking about everything that had nothing to do with groceries. You know what I mean? I didn't want to stop talking to him.
Yeah.
So you guys take the groceries out to the car. I'll be out in a minute. You know what I mean? He had me just by giving me a legit and genuine response, and not this surface level bullshit of, oh, another day, another day, another dollar, or, whatever, any other cliche saying that you can come up with. This dude had a genuine response, and he meant it. You know what I mean? And I
You
felt
can
that
feel
he
it.
meant it too.
That's that energy. It comes off on a different frequency.
It was legit, man. It was so authentic. It was genuine, and I was there for it. I was waiting, subconsciously waiting for somebody to give me that type of response. You know, because so often you get those cliche, generic responses, those surface level responses that, like you said, man, it gets tiring. You don't want to
Yeah.
be around that person. I
Yeah.
hate small talk with those type of people. But somebody like that, man, I could chit chat with that dude all day. I wish I could have him on the podcast. Let's just talk.
Right,
Let's
right.
just flow.
Man, because that's some.
'Cause
That's yeah. Go ahead.
It's a meaningful conversation, and
Yeah.
you know it. You
Well,
you know that this person's not bullshitting you, that they're bringing real energy, and everything that they're going through means something to them in a positive way.
That's so. Oh, that's so impactful. That
Right.
because we're ultimately we're subconsciously internally deep down inside we want the happiness, we want to be free, and so when we see somebody that's exuding that energy, it's like, how do I get that? You know, like
Right.
how do I, how can I live? What is it that you do that
Right.
right?
Who are you, man?
Right, such a blessing. And you know, this is really just like putting everything in a crispy, you know, perspective and clarity of, you know, we talk about energy and how energy is influential. Energy is the essence of who we are, and
Right.
it's influential, right? And so you receive it, you can tell who's got bad energy. It's not something that you want to be around, and somehow we gotta be more conscious of energy, the energy that we're exuding, the energy that we want to bring to the day. We obviously get distracted by all of that. But I want to go back to Trader Joe's, and like I read something, and the reason why they don't have bigger stores is for that exact reason. And so you can't go to any grocery store, and that's why Trader Joe's, I believe, is magical in that sense, because you can't go to any grocery store unless it's intimate like that and have a relationship or interactions with their staff, and
Zero.
just because it's like they're talking to you about their products. They're like, "Oh, have you tried this?" And it's like you're having conversation, and their energy is just like, it's captivating. It's like, yeah, man, oh my goodness. And now it's almost like you built a relationship right off the bat, like with
Right.
these workers. And
I know these people now.
Yeah.
Like you're in my grocery store family.
Yes,
I'm-
exactly.
I'm your customer cousin. You
That's
know,
something to
coming
think
in
about,
there.
right?
Yeah.
We talk about building connections, building relationships, and that's an aspect of Trader Joe's that we don't think about, and which makes Trader Joe's so powerful.
And it makes such a difference.
Man,
It makes such a difference in your experience. And again, thinking about it, having that experience with him was over a week ago, and I've thought about it at least once a day, every day since.
He left
I'm now
a stamp.
talking about it on this podcast.
memory stamp.
That energy that he gave into me, I expressed to you, and now you're feeling that energy.
Oh my goodness, that's powerful. That's powerful, man. We have to
so,
start
like you said,
talking to ourselves better. You know,
That's where it starts.
Yeah.
That's where it starts. That dude is not going home and looking in the mirror and saying, "My life sucks.
Right.
I wish it wasn't this. I wish it wasn't like that." He is seeing the positive in everything that he has going on. He's looking in the mirror and saying, "You got this. You're a winner."
Magical.
He works at a grocery store, and he's coming up to somebody and saying, "I am magical." And it made such an impact on me. Like you said, man, it's a hardcore stamp.
Whew, that is so good. You know, I write down in my journals, you know, certain things that I want to rehearse, and even getting to the rehearsal part is a problem for me, and I'm getting better at it. But it's like, you know, I ask myself, is like, what kind of energy are you trying to bring today? You know, what energy are you trying to bring to the world today? And magical is such a powerful word. When you think of magical, you
Magical
think of Disneyland,
energy. Yeah,
right?
right.
You know,
It's Christmas.
yeah,
Every day is Christmas for him.
absolutely.
Every day is Christmas. Why not? Why
Why
not,
not?
man? Life is too fucking good. We have too many things going for us. We have too many things that we can go after and achieve. We have too many things that we can accomplish. We have so much time that we can do it, but we waste it. And that's what makes us feel like we don't have enough time, is because of all the time that we're wasting. If we
Yeah.
went into every single day as if it were Christmas, that I have something that I can give others, and others have something that they can give to me. The same concept of Christmas, right? Every single day is a magical day.
Man, times 2, times 12, man, magical. That's so heavy. That's so good. That's so
Right.
good. But no, but that's
Right.
like you said, like magical. Every day is Christmas. We're sharing, we're sharing love. You know, we're like, you know, we're connecting. You know, it's what we're supposed to be doing. We talk about this every day. You know, this is what we're built for. It's what we're made for. We're made to connect. We're made to share, you know, all of it. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
everything
Right.
that we go through, experiences, knowledge, whatever it is, you know, that's what we're supposed to do. Man, I have to adopt this. I have to adopt this.
Right.
Bro. Magical.
Right.
I want to go into every day like it's Christmas, bro.
He
I
blew
want
my
to go in
mind with
there.
that, man.
Man, that's
So keeping that Christmas topic on hand, keeping the spirit flowing, man. I'm feeling so good, as you can probably tell, I'm sure, and as those that are listening can and watching could feel my energy through this, and it's just getting amplified the more that we're talking about this, man. I wanted to ask you. I already said what was one of my favorite Christmas movies. Let me know what one of your favorite Christmas movies is.
dude, you know, it's the classic Home Alone, man. There's a few classics, actually. There's a few classics. I'm gonna say Home Alone. Ooh, but that's a close second. Santa Claus is a pretty good one, man.
The Santa Claus?
Yeah, the Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's
That is
one of
good.
my favorites, man. I'm gonna have to say Santa Claus. I'm gonna have to say Santa Claus because that's a really good one. We were watching it the other day, and I'm not sure what year it came out, but it's so well put together. It really brings the imagination to life. You know, the Santa going down, doesn't matter what chimney it is, right? You know, like he finds a way with his magic, right? To get in there and get the presents down there. It opens up and it's magical, right? And so it's a really well put together movie. So I'm going to say the Santa Claus. The Santa
That
Claus
is a really
great
good one, man. I mean, both of those are staples in our house. You know, we watch them multiple times in the season. Home Alone 1, Home Alone 2. My stepson laughs from his soul at the Home Alone movies.
Yeah.
And I crack up at him because he can't even handle it sometimes when they start getting hurt. And, you know, especially in Home Alone, where, you know, what's the tall one's name, Lloyd? He starts screaming. You know,
Right.
when
His
he
scream
puts a
is
spider on
hilarious,
him.
right?
Oh man,
my goodness.
his reactions. He like he's flopping around all over the place laughing so hard, and I crack up at him. I'm already laughing at the scene, but then seeing his reaction, I'm cracking up even more. Those movies are definitely some staples in our house for sure. You know, we love the old school classics too. You know, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, stuff like that. We love Mickey's Christmas Carol. You know, all the different Christmas Carol movies, the different variations of them. We love them all. Yeah, man, the Santa Claus is so good, so well put together, and that, I mean, that's got to be at least 30 years old, right? That's got to
Yeah,
be
it's
around
pretty
there.
old. Yeah.
You know, we were pretty young when that came out. Yeah, man, there's so many good ones. I can go on and on about the Christmas movies, but yeah. So again, one of the traditions that we have is watching a Muppets Christmas Carol on the night of Thanksgiving. One thing that we actually started this year, a new tradition that we started this year, was as we drive around, count how many Christmas trees we see in people's houses. Just
Love that.
as we're driving, you know, sometimes we'll have Christmas music on in the background, sometimes not, you know, because we need to be able to focus, we need to be able to see. So
Right.
for some reason, listening to something while you're driving is distracting. So yeah, we drive around and we count all the Christmas trees that we see in people's through their
It's a
windows
nice
and
little
stuff.
family game right there.
It's fun, man. This year was the first year that we started it, and we instantly after the first night, or maybe it was the second night, we were like, we're doing this every year. This is our new thing. Like
Love that.
we have to do this. It feels good. So another question I wanted to ask you is, do you guys have any traditions that you do every year for the holidays?
You know, it's crazy because this year, man, the time has gone by so quickly. It feels like it's December, but it doesn't feel like Christmas in the sense as it has in the past. And not that that's a bad thing, but I think that this is why I can't wait for this next year, because we're getting so prepped for this year to come up. It's like we've been zooming by, just like everything has been going by so quickly. But we typically just watch the Christmas movies over and over and
Yeah,
over
yeah.
again, and we haven't watched that many this year because we've been so busy. But typically we'll we'll throw the Christmas movie on. Amanda's really good for it. The Home Alone, Jingle All the Way, the Home Alone, both Home Alones, the Santa Clauses. I'm a fan of both the Santa Claus 1 and 2, and so we'll watch a lot of movies, and then now we're doing
Trepid Landing.
You showed me, you listed, that was one with the else, right? Like the short stories. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
They have a
there's
new
also-
one now too.
There's also a good one that Tyson and I watched, and it's like I'm not sure if it's called, what is it called? It's the original. It's not the original. It's the story of how Santa Claus came about, how Santa Claus was born. I gotta send you the movie, but
Santa Claus is coming to town. Old school, right?
No, it's not old school. It's a cartoon movie. It came out a few years ago.
Okay.
I'd have to look it up, but it's a really good one. It's about Santa, like, cause he's like a toy maker, right? This dude.
Yeah.
Cause what's Santa Claus's real name? Chris Crinkle.
Chris Crinkle, Saint Nick.
I gotta look it up. But it's a really good one.
He says them all in the Santa Claus.
Right. right.
Popo Shishio.
Right. But that's a good one too.
Sinterklaas.
So, yeah, man, I wanted to say that earlier. Christmas, the time, I don't know what's in the air this year, but the time has zoomed by. So hopefully we get a chance to, just to really just sit back and relax.
It comes and
chill.
goes quick. That's why I try not to focus on Christmas as the day.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
accept it as a season, and that way it feels like it gets extended a bit.
Yeah.
The year came and went quick.
Yeah.
Not just this month, not just this season, but the year in and of itself, man, coming to an end of 2025, going into 2026. It feels kind of crazy to say that we're already looking at the new year, and it was like I said at the beginning, man. It was a year of growth, definitely a year of mental growth, knowledge, experience, and a decent amount of action. So I feel good about that, man. I feel good in the sense that I didn't just sit back and obtain knowledge without doing anything with it. I was able to take some action in a few different areas of my life and gain experience from that. And I'm excited to keep that going, man. This is things that I started this year are only going to be that much better this upcoming year and grow that much more because I actually started something. I actually was able to do things with myself. And one of the things that you and I talked about before, when we were talking about getting ready for this episode, was the intention that we have going into this upcoming year, the plans that we have. And you talked about one of them. We want to put together a help program for not just ourselves, or not just for others, but for ourselves too. Something that's going to help people take action in their lives and break things down and make it easier for them to achieve the things that they want to achieve in life, right? What are some other plans of yours that you have going into this next year that you want to accomplish for yourself?
The program that we're speaking of Recently I started, the student game, but really, building my businesses, man, building me, really working on becoming free, you know, spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, really working on that and impacting others along the way. And there was another that kind of reminds me of something that I wanted to say coming on here today. It's so liberating when you stop caring about what people think. And I think that's a really big hindrance, a really big shackle, for those that are thinking about chasing their dreams. It's because we're always thinking about what people are going to think about our dreams. And the thing we have to realize is, God put those dreams and our aspirations in us for a reason. So they're not supposed to be in other people. Your vision is your vision, not somebody else's. And God has that treasure. That dream is yours for a reason. But we get caught up in that, the everyday society, conforming to society, and it's polluted. That we're always worried about what people are going to. And I'm the first one to tell you, suffering from imposter syndrome, definitely worried about what people are going to think. But it's so freeing, not caring, being who I am, who I'm supposed to be, and becoming who I'm supposed to be. And you can't become that person if you're caring about what other people think about you becoming that person, right? And so those are the big dreams for me, man. It's really focusing on learning and taking action on that knowledge, and just being a sponge, as we speak of, and continuing to develop that reprogramming process to where everything is on autopilot. How I'm living my life is the way my subconscious is programmed. And so that's what I'm looking forward to this next year coming up. And I guess that kind of like piggybacks what I wanted to say as well as to why New Year's resolutions don't work. It's because our subconscious isn't programmed for it to work like that. It's something that you have to build on. Reprogramming your mind is not an easy task. It starts with those little milestones that we speak of. That's why everyone goes to the gym for 2 weeks and they quit. It's because it gets uncomfortable and no one's used to that process. It takes time, So start now. Start now, people. Start living your dreams, man. Especially with how fast this year went by, man. I'm thinking about my dad. That's going to be 70 next year. And you got family members that have certain conditions and health problems and all of that. We've had friends, close people that aren't here with us anymore, and there's no time to waste, man. There really is, and it's easier said than done. We talk about this all the time. We get on here, and it just flows off the tongue. And when we get to the real life and things start throwing stuff at people, the life starts throwing things at us, we often fall back into that default mode. But it's really important, especially because we're on this journey, this quest, to find ourselves and to find happiness within, that joy, right? So
100%. 100%, man. You're absolutely right. And that's something that we even mentioned at the beginning of the episode, that, we have plenty of time, but because we waste so much of it, we feel like we don't have enough time. So what helps with that is taking that action, man. Excuse me. Taking action.
Yeah, I just sparked another thought. I had a thought earlier today, and don't wait until your circumstances are worse to be grateful for the circumstances that you're in.
Right.
And that's happened to me so many times. It's like, man, it's like, because like when you have kids, that's more time taken up. Like we get a job, that's more time taken up. When they get older, things start happening that start taking more time away from your life. And it's like, well, man, like I could have done this while I was in this predicament, and I didn't. And I was waiting for something better to happen, or whatever the case is. Like, don't wait until your circumstances get worse before you're grateful for before you're grateful for the circumstances you're in. Be present and maximize the circumstances that you're in, so you can continue to better your life, because things can always be worse. And that's another thing that I'm taking to heart too.
100%, man. You know, I just saw this thing not too long ago. This guy was talking about, um, you know, when you're 40 years old and you feel like you've lived a life. You know, you're like, man, I've lived a life, and if I had the knowledge that I have now back in, you know, my 20s or something like that, you know, I would be in a lot better place. And it's like, well, you have the knowledge that you have now.
Back to the
Now.
future.
So apply that knowledge and the experience that you've gained over time to get to this point, apply that going forward. He said, you can't count the first 20 years of your life. You just can't. You're growing, you're obtaining things, you're getting that experience firsthand, but you can't count that as, oh, I should have done this. You didn't know any better. There's no way in hell that you would know better, know what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and how to execute it by the time you're 20. 20 to 30 is where a lot of people's mistakes are made, because they have the experience that they've had, and that's now you're entering that like trial and error stage of life, figuring out the thing. You know, a lot of people go to college and they come out of college and they don't do what it is that they went to school for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have a lot of it is trial and error. A lot of mistakes are made. Even more experience is gained or more knowledge is gained because of the experiences that you're getting, because of the trials and errors that you're going through. 30 to 40 is when things start to kind of line up.
Yeah, makes sense.
It starts to make sense. You've learned from those trials and errors and those mistakes that you made in your 20s. So by the time that you're 40, you now have the next, 20, 30, hopefully 40 years to apply all of that knowledge that you've gained and all of the experience that you've had, and actually do something with it. You wouldn't have done what you should have done in your teens, in your 20s.
You weren't thinking about doing it, right? Your headspace.
You just would not have had that because you didn't gain the experience.
Right.
You didn't gain the knowledge from the experiences that you've had. So now that you've had it, apply that going forward, because there's still plenty of life left.
Yeah.
My throat is all dry. There's still plenty of life left. And like we said before, man, it's never too late to try something new. It's too late if you're wasting time.
Absolutely.
Wasting time is what makes things too late. Take action. Have intention behind your thoughts. Have meaning behind your conversations. And start doing something with yourself. Going through life the day-to-day, how you always do it. This is who I am. This is what I do. That's what's wasting time. That's what makes you feel like you don't have enough time.
That GPS theory. I absolutely love that GPS theory. And it really piggybacks what you were just saying, utilizing all the experiences. And, getting caught in the past it's a dangerous trap. It's a dangerous place to be, wishing the woulda, coulda, shoulda, but reframing that and utilizing that as power, the experience and the knowledge that I gained from that, so I can utilize that for moving forward. That's power, man. You can't live in the past. And with utilizing that GPS theory, it's like, okay, well, maybe I got to go down this dark alley of life to get to where I need to get to. These experiences and bad decisions that I made, getting that knowledge from the experience, utilizing that, and executing on the knowledge that we do have now, because it's wasted, right? It's not. We got to turn that into wisdom, because we often feel like, because we're getting a little bit older, that we don't have the opportunity to, what's the word that I'm looking for? Recover. I don't even want to say recover, because it's like you're
reroute. That's the GPS.
Yeah, man.
You take the wrong turn, the GPS doesn't shut down, the car doesn't shut off, and you stop driving. You reroutes you, and then you continue on to your destination. Yeah. Don't get hung up on the wrong turn.
Don't get hung up on the wrong turn. Love that. That's the caption right there. Don't get hung up on the wrong turn, because wherever you're going is going to lead you to where you're supposed to go. And that's if you believe in where you're going and where you're supposed to be, right? Because you can take that wrong turn and put it in park, right, like we talked about, and stay stuck forever. you know. But no, you got to
Right.
keep moving forward, and you can't move backwards because then you're undoing everything that you went through, right? So you can't reverse, you know. You can't, and that's living in the past. Right, so
Right.
you can't live in the past. You got to keep on moving forward, man. I love that. Don't get caught up on the long term. That's good. Gems, bro.
Absolutely, man. This yeah, that was a good one, man. When I came across that, I had to send it your way because it was so relevant with where you were at specifically at that time,
Yeah,
and where I feel like a lot of us are at
yeah,
any given time. At any given moment, we can get hung up on taking that wrong turn and not still focusing on where it is that we're heading. So, man, my throat is
I see you struggling over there.
dry. I'm down in this cider. I got cider too, sparkling cider.
Oh my gosh, so good. Such a holiday
It's
special,
the best. The best.
right?
Shout out to Ward's Farm, man. Ward's Farm, they got the best sparkling apple cider around. Um, yeah, bro. Christmas spirit, man. Just feeling good. And again, harnessing that energy and that mindset and that feeling of feeling magical all the time because every day is Christmas. That's my biggest goal. My biggest my biggest milestone, not milestone, but that's my biggest goal for this upcoming year that I'm shooting for is to harness that energy and continue to go forward with in every single day with that feeling and exuding that energy to allow other people to pick up off of that too. Because again, that dude is not thinking about how he made me feel.
Yeah,
He has no idea how he made me feel.
yeah,
But it made such a positive difference that, yeah, I shared it with you and it made a difference with you. We're sharing it on this podcast. I know it's going to make a difference to somebody else. And just going forward with that mindset, man, it's like pay it forward, right? You don't need to do it with the mindset of, oh, this is going to, this is going, I'm doing this for other people. I'm not doing it for myself. Just be genuine.
yeah,
And I love what you were saying earlier about that the self-talk, man, and the belief, because that's where it starts. I have such a good life. I have so many things going for me, going my way, and I have so many things coming my way that how could I feel down? How could I be, upset for an extended period of time? There are going to be things that come up, but I don't have to let that ruin my day, ruin my week, ruin my month, ruin my life.
the
'Cause life is good,
97-3.
man.
Yeah, man. The 97-3 3 theory. 90% is,
Life is 3% what happens to you and
yeah.
97% how you respond to it.
Exactly. And it's the red car theory too, bro. There's a lot of like manifestation videos and posts that are going on, and I'm into it because I believe in that as well. But the thing we have to realize, and I've heard this as well, is like we're already manifesting our life. We're already manifesting our reality based on the energy that we're exuding on a daily basis. And so keep that in mind, right? Like what is it that you want to attract and exude the energy that you want to attract? It's obviously easier said than done, but if we're already manifesting our reality, that is something that we have to be very mindful of, because if you're always thinking about negative stuff, then that's what you're going to get. It's just like that domino effect. It's just like, oh, well, this and this, that. We'll see. Bad things always happen to me. It's because you're searching for it. Your subconscious is searching for it. And so that reprogramming process, man, and it's not easy, but it's something that if we do it and do it enough times, then we can be living a magical life, bro.
I love that. I love it, man. This has been a hell of a year. This
I can't
podcast
wait.
means so much to me. The conversations that we've had with each other, with other people, and the conversations that we're going to have with other people and we're going to have with ourselves, it's only going to be that much bigger and that much better in this upcoming year. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I can wait. I can't wait because I'm going to accept it and receive it as it happens.
Enjoy
and
the
not-
journey.
enjoy. I'm going to enjoy this journey, man, because it's going to be a hell of a journey this upcoming year, 2026. I'm putting it out there into the universe, is going to be a groundbreaking year for myself, for you, and for everybody that we come in contact with. So everybody, I encourage you to jump on board now, because this train is
It's
picking
taking
up
off.
momentum, man. It's picking up
taking off.
momentum, and we're going to be going so fast at some point that it's going to be hard to jump on. But we are always going to be willing to have new passengers jump aboard.
Absolutely.
So again, man, I appreciate you so much, brother.
Appreciate you too, brother. Can't wait to this New Year episode.
Oh
I can't wait
man,
I can't wait for our New Year's episode.
it already feels so good. I already know. But man, again, when this comes out, it will be around Christmas time. So Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to everybody that's listening. Everybody that celebrates Christmas. Happy Hanukkah to those that celebrate that, and all the other holidays that are out there that you guys celebrate. I apologize, I don't know them all. But happy holidays to everybody there, and we'll see you in 2026.
Love.